Hello, I'm from the US government with an update on our pandemic response. In the space of just a few months, our "don't worry bro, it's just the flu" policy has gotten a shit ton of you killed. Some say this tragedy was inevitable, but actually, studies show that if we'd simply responded like other governments who listen to scientists instead of Chuck Woolery and the My Pillow guy, we could have prevented almost all of those deaths. Unfortunately for you, the amount of responsibility we take in doing our job comes to approximately fuck all. Which is why we got more of you killed than 50 9/11s. Trump 2020. With a president like this, who needs terrorists? As part of our distract from how many of you were getting killed policy, we'll be telling you the real threat to America is minorities demanding not to be murdered by cops. And to make you feel safe, we've deployed a secret police force to kidnap people off your streets without probable cause. Some call that taking a dump on the Constitution, but we call it law and order. Thanks to all the well-armed militias cheering us on, as we literally do the one thing the Second Amendment was supposed to prevent. What's that? People are looting in the streets? Oh, darling. The real looting is the one we're doing right here, as part of our exploit this crisis to funnel wealth from the poor to the rich policy. Like, remember when we told you COVID was no big deal, so we could buy ourselves just enough time to sell off our personal stocks before the crash which we knew was coming? Phew. Or when we passed the biggest bailout package in history, which funneled shit tons to corporations and easily forgivable loans. We even gave billions to churches bankrupted by sex abuse scandals. Even the I Love Small Government Rand Institute got some of the loot. But hey, don't forget that single barely above minimum wage check we sent you. You know, the one you simply handed over to your landlord to pay the rent, who in turn handed it to a bank to pay their mortgage, which is how we laundered another $1 trillion to banks through the working class. Profits made, profits kept. Now millions of you face homelessness and 1 in 5 families are going hungry. But look on the bright side. Billionaires regained $500 billion of their wealth. We're not in this together. If you survive till November, be sure to re-elect us so we can get the rest of you killed in the looming climate and extinction crisis. You know, that other crisis we're ignoring and plan to profit from obscenely at your expense. Trump 2020. Fuck you. Of course, we realize that after lying to you, robbing you, and getting your loved ones killed, some of you might be contemplating not voting for us. But don't worry. That's why we've adopted our deregister millions of you policy, as well as our close polling stations, file lawsuits, and let's spread bullshit about voter fraud policy. And if that's still not enough, well, maybe we'll just cancel the election. Trump 2020. Now get back to work, America. Our stocks won't make themselves go up, you pieces of shit. God bless America, except Portland and Chicago. Authorized by the Department for Sacrificing School Teachers to the Great Bull God to make line go up.
Behold the rare small-polled Trump, Impotus Americanus. Notable for its exotic plumage, the Trump is typically a ruddy orange color not found in nature. Though Impotus was once considered an alpha predator, this elderly specimen now weighs somewhat over 300 pounds due to its diet of fast food. In its youth, it was known to pursue females with other predators like Molestus Epstein. Now it focuses on exploiting its home territory, the United States. Impotus Americanus is known to be a master of deception and considered the most corrupt of its species. Its tweeted cries of anger are meant to distract its prey from its failures as the leader of its pack. Impotus Americanus is considered endangered this November due to its own incompetence and failure.
A failed president, the worst economy in U.S. history. More Americans have died in this 4-month period than ever before. Donald Trump's response? Stop the election. He can't win. We voted during the wars. We voted in the Great Depression. We voted when civil unrest swept the country. Americans died for our right to vote. Americans marched for our right to vote. Americans were beaten and brutalized for our right to vote. Now a failed president faces defeat, with millions out of work and tens of thousands dying from his incompetence and neglect, threatening the very foundations of democracy. Donald Trump, here's the message. We will vote. We will defend America. We will throw you and your failed cronies out of office. The choice, America or Trump.
The Lincoln Project is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When we win on November 8th, we will be able to immediately repeal and replace Obamacare.
My first day in office, I'm going to ask Congress to put a bill on my desk.
I hope we're going to surprise you with a really good plan.
You can end up with great health care for a fraction of the price, and that's going to take place immediately after we go in, okay? Immediately.
On my first day.
You're going to be very proud of what we put forth having to do with health care. I know that we're all going to make a deal on health care. That's such an easy one.
Form a really great plan.
You've been in office 3.5 years. You don't have a plan.
Well, we haven't had... excuse me. You heard me yesterday. We're signing a health care plan within 2 weeks. A full and complete health care plan.
I've been saying this for a long time.
Republicans chose him.
Mr. Chairman and delegates, I accept your nomination for President of the United States.
And while he's no Democrat, he knows the difference between right and wrong.
Corrupting an election to keep oneself in office is perhaps the most abusive and destructive violation of one's oath of office that I can imagine.
Law-abiding and law-breaking.
What he did was a flagrant assault on our electoral rights, our national security, and our fundamental values.
And when to put country over party.
The grave question the Constitution tasks senators to answer is whether the president committed an act so extreme and egregious that it rises to the level of a high crime and misdemeanor. Yes, he did.
Ask yourself, Republicans, do you want the rule of law or Trump?
Just tell me he's okay.
Where's my baby? I want to see him right now. Harry! No hugging! No hugging, please. We're not gonna hug nobody.
Hi, Mom. Hey. It's okay. Hi. I'm okay. It's okay. But the doctors won't tell me anything. Could someone please explain what's going on?
Okay, honey. You were in a very bad car accident. Yeah. And you bumped your head. And so about 3.5 years have gone by.
3.5 years?
Yeah. You were in a coma. Yeah. And now it's 2020.
Wow. Wow. Did I miss anything interesting? What?
Just you guys go. Go ahead.
Well, sweetheart, do you remember that our president is Donald Trump?
Of course. Yeah. We finally got a Republican back.
Strong leader, boy. He's a strong leader.
Supporting families.
Well, of course, he's got a bunch of his own family working in the White House right now.
Bless their hearts,
and too. As he promised, he's keeping the Mexicans out.
So he actually built his wall.
Well,
Hey, how'd he get Mexico to pay for it?
I don't think I remember him saying that.
And don't mention the kids in the cages.
I'm not gonna.
Kids?
Yeah, I gotta admit, that didn't turn out the way he said it would.
If I remember right, his wife was an immigrant.
Oh, yeah. Isn't she pretty?
Oh, I just love all her dresses.
She's from one of those non-shithole countries. And she was so strong when she found out that her husband was paying off one of those...
porn stars.
Exactly.
A porn star.
Oh. I guess we did want an outsider Republican.
Yes, we did.
Did he lose the evangelicals?
Actually, they didn't really say very much. You know, he eventually took a picture in front of a church with a upside-down Bible, and that helped.
It did.
And we have race riots.
Race riots?
No, more like peaceful, everybody riots.
Everybody good around.
People in the street yelling for equal rights for black people again. And you know what? I have to admit, I do agree they deserve it because the police keep accidentally killing black people.
Well, we can't support that. We're Republicans, not Klansmen.
Kiddo. You know, they're fine people on both sides.
You believe that?
I'm trying to.
Trump was just making a point about fairness and there being two sides to every story, especially when one is so terrible.
That's right, keep it balanced. Just like how he got himself impeached.
Whoa, impeached? For what?
For supposedly cahooting with the Russians.
Wow. The Republicans must have crushed him on that Russia stuff.
Oh, no, my love. They are loyal, good people. Well, especially that Mitch O'Connell.
But I thought we hated the Russians.
We do, except we like Putin. Apparently, he turned good.
I mean, let's be honest. Trump knew for a very long time that Putin and the Russians were paying off the Talibans to kill us.
Oh, the news networks must be just destroying him.
Oh boy, honey, we don't listen to them. We're the scientists.
Yeah, it's fake news!
Fake news!
Oh, wait a minute. Did you all become doctors? Why are you all wearing masks?
Well, Pumpkin, there is a virus killing people all over the world. Now, at first, Mr. Trump said it was just a hoax made up by the Democrats, but people kept getting sick. So then, Trump asked the doctors to figure out a way how to inject disinfectant into everybody. But then finally, Trump took some medicine, although not the real kind, and now, over 150,000 Americans are dead. I mean, nothing could be done about it, right?
Excuse me.
How do you know if you have the virus?
No, you don't.
No.
No. I mean, we can't get tested. The president slowed that way down. But that was so that less people died from it.
That's correct.
Wait, what?
Would you like a mask?
Oh, God.
Oh, honey, look at him. Hey, don't you worry. The reason we elected him was so he could fix the economy. That's exactly what he did, right? He gave huge tax cuts to the rich folk who hire people. Oddly, they didn't hire people.
Millions of people are newly unemployed, including your father.
Oh, that's me, Mr. Lose Your Job. Lost my damn job.
Do you guys remember how nobody came to his party in Oklahoma?
No.
Where he was just talking about how he could drink water.
Well, he did it well.
It was
he
like
did do it good.
It was an assist.
You know what, Gary? We should go stay at Mar-a-Lago sometime. I bet we'd meet some big shots.
No, we can't afford that, honey.
Oh, I forget.
No, my favorite was that time when in Puerto Rico when it started raining.
Oh,
right.
Captain Dog.
So then Trump went down there and he threw them all free paper towels.
That's
Just
right.
chunking
I think
chunking
that's
the
right.
paper towels.
And now
He
you
did.
can't even find a paper towel. So.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what we
Right.
never did
What?
find out the meaning of covfefe, though?
No, I think
No.
that's Kofifi.
Kofifi?
That's the
I
French
see.
version of it.
Right.
isn't it?
The Lincoln Project is responsible for the content of this advertising.